Hi, I'm Stephen Hrustich, Project Director for Vision 2020. We're excited to share the story of how the Peoria Fire Department has been working with Vision 2020 to incorporate best practice community risk reduction principles into their culture and service delivery. We think you'll enjoy hearing directly from fire department members and local partners as they describe the difference this is making in Peoria.
For almost 20 years, the Vision 2020 project has championed the adoption of community risk reduction best practices among U.S. fire departments. Our goal is to help create safer, healthier, and more resilient communities across America through data analysis, partnerships, and the implementation of proven CRR tools and methods. In July of 2023, we invited fire departments across the country to compete for a hands-on training, coaching, and technical assistance program led by Vision 2020's team of CRR experts. More than 100 fire departments applied. The Peoria, Illinois Fire Department was selected for its diversity, risk profile, the strength of established local partnerships, and, most importantly, its attitude toward adopting new approaches to reducing community risk. In the Peoria application, Prevention Division Chief Nate Rice put it simply, quote, CRR should not just come from the 40-hour guys in the Fire Prevention Bureau, he said, but should be something practiced across the entire department. This would be a big change of mindset, and we would like to work towards this change. This mindset started at the top of the organization, with Peoria Fire Chief Sean Sahlberger pledging long-term commitment.
If anybody thought going into this process in 4 days we were just going to create this encyclopedia and be like, here you go, here's your plan. This is just a seed and it's going to require constant attention.
It was also important to get buy-in across the organization. Chief Rice scheduled briefing meetings for all members of the fire department to enlist their support. He then chose 11 opinion leaders representing both prevention and suppression staff to participate in the 4-day process. The CRR Onset project took place in October 2023. On day 1, Vision 2020 Project Director Stephen Hrustich shared data on fire incidents, injuries, and fatalities in Peoria. He challenged the group to identify the most significant fire risks facing the community and to create a written community risk assessment for the organization. Suppression team members had never seen the data laid out in black and white before. With this context, the group quickly identified 3 key takeaways. First, the risk of fire was much greater in certain pockets of Peoria. Second, cooking fires were a big problem, especially in specific residential properties managed by the Peoria Housing Authority. Third, families in the highest risk neighborhoods lacked smoke alarm protection. With clear direction on where to focus resources, the Peoria CRR team connected with community partners to enlist their support, and they got it. On day 2, stakeholders met to share data and brainstorm possible interventions.
I am honored that the Peoria Fire Department wants to hear my voice and my thoughts about the community that I represent. They are part of the solution. They want to fix this, and not that it's terribly broken. I don't think that it is. This is the first step. And once we gain that collective trust between each other and the resident, yes, we will have successful outcomes, which is why I think this initiative is so critical.
It was interesting data, for sure. When I saw the zip code that was highlighted, I guess I was a little bit surprised just how large that concentration was in that one zip code. That area needs a very specific different plan and some innovative new ideas. Obviously, we need to do something different there. And I think my wheels were turning just thinking about ways that we could partner with them, just with different events.
Peoria Fire Chaplain Pastor William Preston leads the City on the Hill Church. He also serves as chaplain of the Peoria Fire Department. Pastor Preston welcomed the idea of working with the fire department to improve the safety of his congregation.
We are in the 61605 area code, which is the poorest zip code in the city of Peoria. So we have all of the challenges of that demographic. In the demographic that we serve, many times those resources are hard to come by, and or information or education about the use of those products might be very nil. So I think to partner with the department for that information as well as resources to get those fire alarms into homes would definitely be a benefit to our community.
The stakeholder briefings not only opened doors to new partner opportunities to serve the community, they also strengthened long-standing relationships, such as with the local chapter of the American Red Cross.
So the project that I'm most proud of that we collaborate on is Sound the Alarm. The Peoria Fire Department has been a partner in this project since 2014, and annually we install together about 400 free smoke alarms. We really rely on our partnership with the Peoria Fire Department. They're out there, they see the need, they know where the spots in the community are that really need our attention. I think together the Peoria Fire Department and the American Red Cross are committed to community risk reduction.
But perhaps the most valuable feedback came from Peoria Fire Department members themselves. On days 3 and 4, the Vision 2020 team worked with them to prioritize action steps.
I feel like my definition of CRR has changed a little bit. I didn't realize that the analytical part of it, the data that is available and how easily you've made it for us to use and actually relay that onto the community, city council, to actual firefighters and suppression, like showing them the data that we came across that has been made available to us and how easily we can use it to help better our department. I think that's been the biggest takeaway for me, and definitely something that I think it's going to help the department, it's going to help the community.
We all know we go on cooking fires, but to use our own data that we have to see exactly where we're going and what to do about that with that data. You know, we can go to one building and say, holy cow, we come here a lot for cooking fires. While we all subconsciously know it, but to actually see the numbers, see the graphs, see what we can do to prevent that stuff.
You know, many times when we enter structure fires, we don't hear smoke alarms going off, and that's a big concern to me. Those are life safety tools that every house, every home should have. So my focus would be for the Peoria Fire Department to focus on our smoke alarm program.
I would say to other departments, maybe like us, maybe bigger, maybe smaller, don't be afraid of change. Use the data, use your community resources, use everything available to you to make your community a safer community for everybody, not just for the community, but for firefighters as well. Stop thinking reactively, think more proactively. The fire that you may stop before it starts is a fire that you don't have to respond to.
Pauline Worley, a mental health counselor on the Peoria Fire Department's wellness team, summarized the benefits of a thriving CRR culture to firefighters.
So when firefighters are able to help community members get ahead of the call, do more of that preventative work, their call volume goes down, which means their self-care can go up. One of the biggest issues I see amongst firefighters is their lack of sleep, and that compounding lack of sleep over the years, over the decades, is really wearing them out. So when we have community members who are getting hooked to services, and the firefighters feel like they've provided that need, the firefighters can sleep, they can rest, and they can be very well prepared for when the next crisis comes in. We know that that reduces their need to go off on injury. It ensures that they're able to stay on the job as long as they need to, and then it also means that when they retire, they're healthy and happy.
The Vision 2020 on-site project visit concluded with final thoughts from Chief Sahlberger.
If I had to give advice to any fire chief that's considering to go through a CRA, CRR, I don't think that there's one thing that you can do that's more important in regards to protecting your community than going through this process. To start it is one thing, to continue it is another. So it has to be in the forefront of your thought, it has to be part of your strategic planning, it has to be a part of your department. I just can't wait to see where all these thoughts and all this creativity, to see what's handed off to us to consider and to really kind of get us going. So I couldn't be any happier about this process.
Since the Vision 2020 project in Peoria, Illinois, we have seen some tremendous growth towards community risk reduction. CRR is not just a catchphrase in Peoria, it is a way of doing business every day. Since our Vision 2020 project, we have made a focus on employing all 5 E's of CRR: education, engineering, enforcement, economic incentives, and emergency response. By combining these key components of CRR, we have made strides towards reducing risk right here in Peoria. Through community partnerships with the Peoria Housing Authority, the Peoria Fire Department was able to install 180 smart burner units in the leading residential complex for cooking fires. This resulted in turning that complex from the leading number of cooking fires to 0 since the smart burners were installed. We began implementing the Sound Off program with all 3rd graders in the Peoria Public School System, and we will present Sound Off to over 100 3rd graders this school year. This puts a focus on students and families in areas where we know our call volume has always been the highest. We have stepped up our smoke alarm installation efforts, and we have installed over 300 smoke alarms and over 100 carbon monoxide alarms in homes in Peoria in 2024. This is 3 times the amount that we typically install every year. We've been able to achieve this through further community partnerships with the American Red Cross, the Illinois State Fire Marshal's Office, and our very own Pastor Preston and his congregation at Church on the Hill to reach families at greatest risk. However, the best outcome of Vision 2020 is that the men and women of the Peoria Fire Department have embraced community risk reduction. All these accomplishments that I've mentioned have been made possible through the efforts of our operations personnel. They truly see the value in proactive approaches to saving lives. This forward-thinking process is making for a safer, healthier community and a more resilient fire department.
Thanks for watching the Peoria Story. If your organization is interested in learning more about Vision 2020's on-site projects to help jumpstart your department's CRR efforts, please reach out to us at info@strategicfire.org.